The year 1948 stands as a critical juncture in history, a period of transition and turbulence that would shape the contours of the emerging Cold War. This documentary unfolds the geopolitical, social, and economic dynamics of a world in flux during 1948, tracing the key events that defined the global landscape and set the stage for the protracted Cold War confrontation. 1. Post-war reconstruction. The aftermath of World War II. The documentary begins by setting the stage in the aftermath of World War II, where nations grappled with the monumental task of rebuilding. War-ravaged economies, displaced populations, and the challenges of demobilization created a complex backdrop for global affairs. 2. Birth of Israel. The impact of the partition plan. The narrative unfolds as the documentary explores the birth of the State of Israel. The United Nations Partition Plan in 1947 and the subsequent Declaration of Independence in 1948 marked a seismic shift in the Middle East, reshaping regional dynamics and sparking conflicts that reverberate to this day. 3. The Berlin Airlift, the Soviet blockade and Allied response. Delving into Cold War tensions, the documentary scrutinizes the Berlin Airlift, the Soviet blockade of West Berlin, and the Allies' resolute response through a massive airlift underscored the early ideological divisions between the Eastern and Western blocs. 4. The Marshall Plan, rebuilding Europe and containing communism. Focusing on economic reconstruction, the article explores the launch of the Marshall Plan. The initiative aimed to provide economic aid to war-torn European nations, simultaneously serving as a means to contain the spread of communism and strengthen Western alliances. 5. The Communist Takeover in Czechoslovakia, prelude to the Iron Curtain. The documentary navigates through Eastern Europe, examining the communist takeover in Czechoslovakia. The events in 1948 served as a prelude to the establishment of the Iron Curtain, as Soviet influence solidified across the region. 6. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a beacon of hope. Shifting the focus to human rights, the documentary discusses the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations. Against the backdrop of post-war atrocities, this document became a beacon of hope, establishing a framework for global standards. 7. The Indian Independence Act, the birth of India and Pakistan. Navigating to South Asia, the documentary examines the Indian Independence Act of 1947 and its impact. The partition of British India into India and Pakistan led to mass migrations, communal violence, and the birth of two independent nations. 8. The Berlin Airlift, the Soviet blockade and Allied response. The narrative unfolds as the documentary explores the Berlin Airlift, the Soviet blockade of West Berlin, and the Allies' resolute response through a massive airlift underscored the early ideological divisions between the Eastern and Western blocs. 9. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, a loss for peace. Reflecting on tragic events, the documentary touches upon the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi in 1948. The loss of the iconic leader was a blow to the global peace movement and left a lasting impact on the course of Indian history. 10. Legacy and impact. The enduring echoes of 1948. Concluding the narrative, the documentary reflects on the enduring echoes of the pivotal year 1948. The geopolitical realignments, ideological confrontations, and efforts toward reconstruction set the stage for a protracted Cold War and shaped the post-war world order. Conclusion. A World in Flux. The pivotal year of 1948, a Cold War documentary, unravels the complexities of a transformative year that laid the foundation for the Cold War era. By delving into key events across different continents, the documentary captures the essence of a world in flux, grappling with the aftermath of war, the aspirations for independence, and the ideological divisions that defined the emerging Cold War landscape.